What's good, soup? Today I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about Derrick Rose and how good he has actually been for the New York Knicks so far this season. So let's get straight to it. Earlier this year, when the New York Knicks acquired Derrick Rose, a lot of people thought that because of his injury history, he would be quote-unquote washed, inefficient, and that he would take away Emmanuel Quickley's spotlight as the Knicks' future star. However, ever since Derrick Rose was acquired by the Knicks, their season has completely shifted towards winning, as the team has gone 21-8 as of the recording of this video since Rose came to New York, and are currently sitting at the 4th place in the Eastern Conference. To take this into perspective, the New York Knicks currently have a higher record than the reigning Eastern Conference champions Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics, which is absolutely insane. Now let's break down why Derrick Rose has been so good for the New York Knicks so far this season. The first reason that I'm going to be talking about in this video is Derrick Rose's playmaking. His passes have been so good this season, and it's mainly because of his high basketball IQ. He doesn't rush the tempo, and he's always looking to find an opening for either a shot for himself or a quick pass to a wide open teammate. Look at this play for example. Derrick Rose gets the screen for Nerlens Noel, and then looks for an opening in the mid-range area. Even though Derrick Rose had the space here for a floater, he decides to be unselfish and keep drawing Jason Tatum into him, so he can then feed Nerlens Noel in the paint for an easy bucket. With that in mind, Derrick Rose does a little hesitation on Tristan Thompson, which obviously gets him in the air and forces Tatum to keep helping out. Then Nerlens Noel finds himself open and with his hands ready, receives a very good pass from Derrick Rose for a dunk. Excellent execution by Derrick Rose for sure, man. Not only does Derrick Rose love to do these slow tempo type of passes, but he also likes to get fancy with it and does these really good no-look passes for shooters in the corners. A point guard like Elfrid Payton would turn this ball over continuously because of his lack of playmaking skills, but of course Derrick Rose is a different story. Rose settles these passes very well because he actually fakes the defenders into thinking that he's doing something else. Rose actually makes eye contact with one of his teammates to settle this pass. Here's a good example. Derrick Rose receives a pass from RJ Barrett. Then Rose quickly accelerates and once again looks for an opening. However, look at Tim Hardaway Jr. here. He thinks that Derrick Rose is actually about to pull up a floater because of how close he is to the rim right now and how much of an opening he has. Dwight Powell also comes in and tries to help contest the potential Derrick Rose floater. However, knowing that his shot could potentially be rushed and that of course, like I said earlier, Rose is a very unselfish basketball player, he does the smart thing here and looks out once again another opening. Therefore, he sees Emmanuel Quickley wide open for a 3 and then settles a no-look pass to him for a 3. Because of these driving cake no-look passes, guys like Reggie Bullock and RJ Barrett have also been shooting all-time highs from 3. Pretty much you can see that Derrick Rose is a pass-first type of point guard at this stage of his career, and it's great to see, man. He uses a lot of great hesitation moves to get his defenders to buy and therefore get wide open looks for his teammates, which is, like I said, very good to see. The last thing that I want to talk about regarding Derrick Rose's playmaking in a half-court setting is his pick-and-rolls and pick-and-pops, specifically with all-star Julius Randle. The chemistry between these two is top-notch, and it's a big reason why Julius Randle has been so effective this year. The amount of space that Rose creates for Randle is just amazing to watch. Since Rose is a pretty good inside scorer, he usually draws a ton of attention towards him as he drives, and therefore Randle is wide open most of the times. With him shooting nearly 40% from 3, Randle makes these shots pretty consistently, which is a key thing in the Knicks offense. Here, Derrick Rose receives a screen from Julius Randle, so a guy like John Collins will fall for the bait since he's a pretty inconsistent defender. Then as Rose comes off the screen, Kevin Huerter decides to stay with Derrick Rose and doesn't actually communicate with John Collins on who's guarding Randle. Then knowing Collins' lack of defensive IQ, he buys for a Rose hesitation and then Rose kicks it out to Randle. I know Julius Randle here could have just rolled for a bucket in the paint, but he's been too efficient in pick and pops that he just decides to not roll and just stay at the 3-point line. Now look at how much space Randle has here, knowing that Rose kicked it out to him for a wide open 3 and of course Julius Randle hit it, as Collins came too late to contest. Of course Randle doesn't always take this shot as I said, as here he decides to take it to the rack and finish strong at the basket. It's really up to Randle what he feels is better for him to score at a better rate. Nevertheless, this is just amazing basketball by Derrick Rose. Now let's dive into Derrick Rose's playmaking in fast break situations. Here, the mindset doesn't change at all. The same mindset that is used in half-court situations applies here. Not rushing the tempo, looking for an opening, and just pushing the ball without rush to get a wide open bucket in the paint. Therefore, a guy like Obi Toppin, who's really athletic, has benefited the best out of these situations and has definitely shown more promise recently than what he did at the beginning of the year. Toppin's ability to run the floor at a fast pace and having that ability to jump really high really settles Rose's passes really well. Here, Rose gets a pass from RJ Barrett and then pushes the ball without rushing it. As Rose crosses the timeline, he has his eyes up front, looking for an opening and a spot where he can down a good pass for his teammates. With that in mind, Toppin does the right thing of running the floor on a fast pace, which gets Derrick Rose's attention. With Rose knowing Toppin's athletic abilities, he decides to lob it out to Obi Toppin, who ends up dunking it for a highlight reel play. Just another good execution by Derrick Rose. His low-tempo type of basketball is definitely what's getting the Knicks so many open looks on the court and therefore leading to very good efficiency. Now with playmaking side things out of the way, let's talk about Derrick Rose's scoring abilities. Of course, Derrick Rose's go-to move right now is his one-handed floater, and the one reason why he can hit this shot so consistently is because of the timing on his shot. His arc on these floaters is absolutely amazing and therefore allows him to not get blocked by taller defenders. Look at this play for example. Rose is guarded by Steph Curry and gets the screen for Nerlens Noel. As he comes off the screen, Rose sees James Wiseman backing down every second that he drives, and therefore it gives Rose the impression that he isn't going to drive fully to the basket because James Wiseman, he's shooting the play, but Rose is smart enough, like I said, he has a lot of basketball IQ, and instead of just going for the layup, he gets to his spot and shoots a high archer floater over 7-foot James Wiseman and banks it home without Wiseman even getting a touch of it. This floater is all about what the defense gives you and the arc on it, which is why Derrick Rose has been so effective with this move. If the floater isn't available, Derrick Rose is still crafty and does these throwback acrobatic layups. And if the layup is not there, then he also loves to do this ball fake to layup move, in which a lot of defenders buy for it. Also, Derrick Rose is pretty good on off-ball situations, as he's very active and constantly moves to create openings for himself and his teammates. Now let's talk about Derrick Rose's shooting outside of the paint. First, Derrick Rose has used his mid-range shot to his advantage this year, and the efficiency on this type of shot is undoubtedly striking. Nearly one half or 49% of all of Derrick Rose's field goal attempts as a Knick have come between the paint and the three-point arc, which is absolutely insane. Not only does he take these mid-ranges at a consistent rate, but Rose also gets fancy with his shots and even adds a step back on it, making it harder for defenders to guard. The amount of space that he creates out of this step back move is amazing, and it's definitely one of the best moves in his arsenal. Like, look how much space he creates off Duncan Robinson here. This is just truly amazing to watch. Of course, Rose still loves his dribble combos to a jumper, as he still uses that deadly crossover to get to his spot and that hesitation to knock down open jumpers. Last but not least, Derrick Rose's catch and shoot 3-pointers have been really impressive this year. Because of these shots, his 3-point percentage has gone up 7% from the last time that he played with the Pistons, and he's shooting currently 40% from 3, which is absolutely insane. I know he only takes about 3 threes per game, which is a small sample size, but still, this is a massive improvement over his first couple of years in the NBA, in which he constantly shot 20% from 3. Rose has also been good with the one dribble pull-up 3, as he once again settles it really well in order to not get blocked and get the perfect arc on it. The last thing that I want to talk about in today's video is Derrick Rose's defense. Yes, his defense has been absolutely amazing this year, and it's something that we haven't seen from him in a long time. Rose does a really good job of timing his opponent's shots and blocking them with his wide arms, as he's actually averaged around a block per game this year. Look at this play for example. In a close situation like this, the Knicks need a stop, and well, this happened. Yes, Derrick Rose still got some athleticism in the tank to jump this high off the floor to block shots. Not only that, but Rose is also really good on off-ball situations, as he reads the offense really well and is always active to get a steal and therefore push the tempo for a bucket. Here's a good example. Luka passes the ball to Porzingis for a 3, but look at Derrick Rose's awareness to do a half closeout on the shot and wait for Julius Randle to get there on time, in which he did. Then Porzingis faked out Randle since he was out of control and then saw Josh Richardson wide open in the left wing. But as Porzingis threw the pass to Josh Richardson, Derrick Rose deflected it and got a steal for the Knicks, which gave them an extra possession in a tight close game. In conclusion, Derrick Rose has been nothing but an inspiration to watch this year. After an up and down career thus far, Rose has done a great job in carving a new role for himself. It's actually quite hard to believe that Rose is still just 32 years old. The fact that Derrick Rose has overcome adversity is just amazing to see. Like, I'm so happy for Derrick Rose. Like, everyone wants to see Derrick Rose on a good place, a place that he can at least be winning something, at least a playoff run or something like that. Who knows, maybe in the future if the Knicks can add a guy like Kawhi Leonard in free agency or a superstar. But to end off this video, man, shout out to Derrick Rose. It's honestly inspirational, like I said. The fact that an MVP like this is willing to sacrifice his role into being a very good mentor to his young guys like Immanuel Quickley, Obi Toppin, and just a guy that just is willing to do whatever it takes without being selfish on the court. It's just amazing, man. Shout out to D Rose, and that concludes the video. What do you guys think of Derrick Rose? Do you think he will be an all-star again one day? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, sure to leave a like, subscribe for new, and click the bell to get notified on my future videos. I hope you have a great day. Peace out.